What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. Today we're going to be talking about how to power up your players efficiently, effectively, and cheap. Alright, now this is very, very important that you guys understand this, right? A lot of the stuff that I've got is from grinding the game. So for all of you guys that, whether you went to level 50 by doing the slants and all the other crap that you guys been doing, whatever that is, that's fine. I would say that you need to make sure that you have, at least the campaign 100% done like this, the gridiron 100% done, and then you should be working on the superstars over here. As far as the legends go, I don't know what's happening with this situation, but you're gonna probably need to get all of these things, right? You're gonna need these power-ups. You got to get the legends token, so you got to go through it, and they're not full games. So we're gonna get those done because we're gonna want the free player eventually, whether it's gonna be training down the line or whatever. We'll get that done, but just make sure you're getting these legend tokens because there's a lot of them that are available, obviously, right now in the first week because you have so many legends that were released in the first week. Now, when you talk about the training aspect of the players, the number one thing that we immediately go to is, yo, bro, training is a ripoff. I totally agree with that because you can't do anything in the game without it. So it causes you to figure out, like, all right, I got to spend money on the card, then I got to power the card up, then I got to pay for the abilities, and then they give us superstars. But if we power up the superstars, we don't keep the abilities, so we got to buy the abilities back again. Everything is about training. So this is why I need you guys to be very, very smart and pick and choose and know when you should power up a player. Now, let's go over a few examples, right? Josh Allen, first of all, the captains, right? The captains are really, really cheap. So, at this point, everybody knows about it. I just want to go over it again if you're, it's your first time watching a GmiasWorld video and you don't understand. It's very, very cheap to power up the team captains and to give them abilities. Cheap, very, very cheap. Kudos to EA for that. Anybody else after that, you're done. Okay? You're done. You're going to be spending, and you better like it. Pretty much. All right? So let's take a look at some of the players that I powered up, and we're going to talk about the ways that I was able to get training. So, the 88 overall Devontae Adams, that dude right now in this game is the worst wide receiver in the game, no matter what scheme you're running. I don't care what you're doing. That dude is garbage. Now, will he get upgrades later in the year or whatever and be good? Maybe, but he won't be a speedster. And right now, what's killing people, people are running the bunch with that glitch out of verticals when you streak either the slot guy, well, not the slot guy, the inside guy next to the tight end, or there's other things out of Trey Flex. There's a lot of glitch plays in the game right now. And why is that working? Speed. So, players that have the speed but a low overall, like a DK Metcalf, this is a guy that would be worth powering up. So when you look at what's going on with it and you see the totals, it makes sense. All of it makes sense because he's not that expensive to power up. So he's more effective and efficient for you. Because once you get the power up and his actual, elite, you're good to go. These lower level cards are actually really good. What do I mean by that? He's an 88 speed, bruh. He don't got no short route, no medium route, but it don't matter. That dude's gonna get open. Because if you put him on a drag or he's already on a crosser or a post route, the speed takes over and you're gonna be gone. So this would be an effective and cheap, nice power up. Because you don't have to go after all the all-star players. Plus he's 6'3", he'll animate, he'll moss a dude, it'll turn you on excessively, all those good things, right? So I just wanna make sure that that's pointed out to you guys. Now, when you look at other players that I would highly recommend that you power up, the number one choice for me, and I was forced to do it, was Derrick Henry. Why would I power up Derrick Henry? To give him abilities. Because giving him Bulldozer, and then if you give him reach for it, like a lot of psychos are giving him reach for it, bro, he is virtually unstoppable. Now, as far as the armbar, I was getting a lot of questions about this, and I think it's very, very important that you guys understand something, right? This is something that I need everyone to understand. The trucking is OP, armbar is also OP, but the training is ridiculously OP. So I took the Bulldozer because Bulldozer, although it's 1250, I get a lot more out of it. The armbar, sometimes you got to time it, and when you spam the armbar, it loses a lot of stamina. So it's kind of difficult when you could just air truck and then it's like whatever. And he's such a heavy player that it automatically gives you that animation to truck dudes. So he would be somebody that I would recommend, but he's a lot more, involved, all right? Because you see the 260 and the 540, so it's a little bit more for him. But is he worth it? Yes. In the end game, he's going to win you games just because he's Derrick Henry. And that's one of the things I give EA credit for. They don't get credit for a lot, but they get credit for that. Now, this right here, Josh Allen, he's an experiment. But let me tell you why it doesn't matter that he's an experiment. He's so cheap. He's so cheap to power up. Now, his power up, you know, once you get the power up, I got him for like 32K. You know, everything else is cheap, but he's overall, for his upgrades, a very, very cheap card. Now, when you look at his attributes, that 90 throw power, it stands out a lot. To be honest with you, Justin Fields is still really, really good, and I miss him, but I had to do the upgrade, and eventually this guy will start to win me games. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, the set feet lead, that's pretty much gunslinger if you're just, you know, solid in the pocket. The ball gets out super fast, but it's not really gunslinger. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's sorta, kinda, but it's not. But set feet lead is a must-have, and it's something that I would recommend highly. So these are some of the players that is like, all right, they're cheap, they're efficient, cool, let's get it done. Now, when you start getting intense, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, with the legends, you got to power like DeMarcus Ware up to get to that 90, so you get him that edge threat. The superstars come with it, so it's like whatever. And then the lower, you know, the cheaper safeties with 80+ zone, Jamal Adams. But when you start looking at Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, this is where it gets kind of touchy, right? Because I have the Aaron Donald power up, but I'm very, very hesitant to spend. And I'm going to show you why. Once you start spending, you got to find more ways to get training. And training doesn't come out of the sky, dude. It don't drop like raindrops. You're going to be spending or you're going to be grinding. And there's no in between. EA does not care about anybody's problems. You will pay up one way or the other. It doesn't really matter. So when we look at Aaron Donald, right, and we gauge his upgrade status, you know, is he a guy, bro, a guy that you want to spend 1,056 on? And then you got to give him an ability. So now it gets kind of crazy where it's like, you know what? I don't know, dude, because I got to find this training. Where the hell am I getting this training from? You see what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, dude, I really want to, you know, get this guy upgraded, but do I want to go ahead and spend that training right now? And that's pretty much what you have to deal with. Because I would much rather have like an inside stuff on Aaron Donald, and I know he will play better with the ability, but I went with the actual superstar that comes with the inside stuff because it's cheaper. So this is the way that you start to gauge it. The ones that I showed you earlier, it wasn't that crazy, the 1,056. They were cheap. You know, Josh Allen was like, I think 104, like, you know, amount of training to get him through those things. But as the players get better, you have to spend. And there's no in between. There's nothing you can do about it, because ultimately what's going to happen is everybody that you play against is going to have an OP team. And that's it. It's as simple as that. There's nothing else you can really do about it, and you're going to have to figure it out. Now, as far as Jalen Ramsey, he's a guy, bro, shout out to Shannon Sharp, that I would probably look to power up. Because although he's slow, he just plays really well. Like, in all honesty, he just plays really, really well. So, Jalen Ramsey, right? This is another guy that I would say, you know, giving him that extra speed is going to definitely help you. He's also 1,056. But keep in mind, right? He gets to an 86 speed, and then once we get those rare strategy cards, we're going to jump him up to an 88. At that speed and his height, he's going to be an absolute monster. Plus, he meets all the thresholds. So, these are the more high-end cards that I would say now you have to go through your binder. If you've been grinding the game, you got to go through your binder, see some of the cards that you don't really need, and you got to start either quick selling them or selling them for coins, and then looking to see the cheapest training. And then you got to go through it steadily like that. And as you know, once you start taking your time, you're going to be all set. Don't try to do everything all at once, because that's when it becomes overwhelming, and then that's when you become frustrated. So we have a lot of cards. These are nats right here. Obviously, we don't need the nats, but, you know, it is what it is. We can definitely make something happen with what we have currently in our binder. Now, if you just want to go through and just start quick selling them for training, I wouldn't recommend that, but there are a lot of different ways that you can get some stuff done. So that's what I wanted to make sure you guys understood. There are lower level power-ups, Jamal Adams, you know, Josh Allen, DK Metcalf, and these guys are like 83, 84 that still play very well. And then there's the higher end, the 88s, the 89, you know, that pop up to 89, stuff like that. But then there's the must-haves that you have to do it with. Guys like Derrick Henry, game changers. That's going to make it happen. And obviously, your team captain. If you have any other questions about powering up your players, cheap and effective, let me know in the comments. But I think for the most part, you guys will now have an assessment of how I'm taking my time and building my team and still competing with God squads. Thank you guys and girls so much for watching. Go ahead and have a great day. Until next time, one love, y'all.